This is Steve from Boxing UK in association with Supreme CBD. Delighted to be joined by my mate, Lewis Ritson. How are you, pal?
I'm good, Steve. How are you? Been a long time.
It has, mate. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. Just plodding on, aren't we?
As you can see in the background, we're in Sunderland.
I'm still plodding on, but you've hit big time. He's got the Joshua Usyk media pass. He's just been telling us about it, so he's happy with it. So he's become some boy now, like.
Good man, Lewis. You've always been a massive supporter of the channel, mate, so I appreciate it.
Local lads, innit? North East lads, we're still together, so happy days.
North East takeovers, I see. You can see behind us, we're in Sunderland.
Forgetting that, isn't it?
We're in Newcastle, Lewis.
Yes, correct.
Big announcement recently, and you've done your presser today for Boxer.
Yep.
Can you tell us more? Newcastle show, October 16th?
Yeah, Newcastle show, you know, like, well, I'm not signed with them or nothing, obviously got the contract, but I got advice, obviously I didn't know how much, but I got advice to not take it, and that's what I've done. But you know, they've still been good enough to put on the show, and they want to work with moving forward. So I can't see why not. We'll not be jumping on more shows with them, and you know, bring some big nights back to Newcastle.
It's good to be back.
It's good to be back. You know, it's nice to be. Know that the arena's going to be full. It's nice to be given some tickets eventually and say, right, can you get rid of these? Can you do that? So give me father the hard job of selling tickets. So he's be stressing him out, but
he's downstairs doing the job, isn't he?
He's down there. He's downstairs. He's just sitting back relaxing. He's got a cup of coffee of yours truly, Steve. He bought him some coffee, so he's happy with that. And no, it's just good times, exciting times, isn't it? It's like a bit of a new era, isn't it? So we're Sky in the Boxer, so it's nice.
Good man. Can we get the bad stuff out of the way?
Yes.
Last time out,
yeah.
Ponce didn't go to plan.
No,
don't want to dwell on the fight because obviously you've spoken a lot about it, but what came straight off that was a very honest and open statement from yourself, Lewis.
Yeah.
About maybe it's a step too far and the importance of family, and there's still some big nights ahead. Have you reevaluated that since?
No, well, a little bit. Like, you know, like it wasn't like an emotional statement where I was like sitting in the house with me hand in my head crying and all that kind of, oh, I'm not world level and that. But you know, just we sat back and had a bit of a talk about the camp and stuff, and there was absolutely no issues with the camp. Spawn went great, training went great, and then just knocked the weight up a little bit at the end. You know, dried out and thingy too quickly. Where like 8 days before the fight, I was bang on 10 stone. Do you know what I mean? Where fighters would be probably not believe the statement I'm saying. You know, and 3 days before the show, I was 9 stone 12. You know, instead of me going, I'm gonna drink and eat loads, I was gone the other way where I'll just not train, I'll just dry up and all that, and probably had the wrong effect on the sort of opponent that we had, where he was going to be in your face and have a bit of a war. So no, I think like we're gonna, not that we're never going to give it a crack anyway, but we're gonna, you know, knuckle down and just see what comes of it. You know, we're got to fight, we're going to get out of the way in 4 weeks, and we'll see the names that people are going to offer, but the names that we've heard and have been offered are people around the level that we've been fighting at, which is world level, Ponce and stuff. So yeah, we'll have one more crack at it, and if it doesn't work, like I say, there's a lot of good domestic fights that'll get the people mouth watering, do you know what I mean?
I'll chuck some names at you later, mate.
Yeah.
Just on that though, obviously people concentrate on the Ponce loss, but it's too easy, isn't it, in boxing to forget the successes you've had. And people, you blitz them through at British level at, you know, a little lower weight, but does that frustrate you? Yeah,
it does a little bit. I mean, like, I always seem like, I gone back to my mate Robbie, you know, like on the fights, but he was European champion in the fight before I fought him, you know, like, and just the European title would have been on the line if he had fought us in time, but he didn't. So I could have been a 2-time British champion, Commonwealth and European, you know, like, and people forget that, you know, like, you get some daft, you're not even British level. I'm like, I've got one for keeps in me wardrobe, man. It's not even on the mantelpiece in me wardrobe, you know, it's hidden in me wardrobe. So it's just like, some people like to jump on the bandwagon, give you a stick, but I think it's just like copying, isn't it? They don't do any research, they just jump on board with it and stuff. But it is a little bit, it's a bit annoying, but it's just stuff that you've got to put in the back of your head now and just got to get on with it and see what the future brings. Absolutely. Moving forward from that, you had 1,000 fans at the arena. It sounded like 10,000 in there, didn't it? How much are you looking forward to getting back in the arena? Because let's be honest, it's a big card, but this lot up here sell out mainly for you, don't they? Yeah, no, you know, it's going to be nice for a change, like not to be main event, you know, like just maybe be a couple down, just to get back into it, you know, like, and just not having that massive pressure where like you're the main event, you need to keep winning for like North East boxing to keep flourishing, because for the last 3 or 4 years we have been at the front runner for the North East boxing, and it has been a bit like when the nights have come up, if it doesn't go your way or you get beat, where does that leave North East boxing on the big stage? You know, like there's only one person that's been selling the arena out at the minute, and that's been us. You know, that's not being cocky or big-headed. That's just truth in it. It's facts in it, and so it'd be nice to have that little bit of pressure off us this time. You know, I think Hughie Few's topping it, and I even think Savannah might be co-main event, so I'd maybe like one down from that. So it'd be nice just to get back to, hopefully get back to winning ways. Not going to say it's definitely going to be back to winning ways, but that's the way we want to plan, and then we'll take the big nights and the main events from there.
So it's the start of a rebuild back to world level for you, Lewis?
Definitely, or a high, whatever level we can get to, it's going to be the rebuild, isn't it? You know, if we kind of get there, you know, but we're definitely above British level and European level, do you know what I mean? We might not be enough, like every level's a jump, isn't it? And we might not be at that jump, but we're not going to let one night decide that. We're going to give it another shot, and if it doesn't happen again, then we'll know for sure that we're not there.
Since the Ponce loss, little whisper tells me that your stock rose from that. Why boxer? Why Sky?
Do you know what it is? We were speaking to MTK, and they even said to me manager Phil, they've never known a fighter be in such demand after coming off a loss, which it was nice to hear, really. You know, like, I think we stock did rise a little bit, we did show a bit of grit, good bit of heart in that. You know, like, even when the towel come in, I was turning on the corner, me father saying, "You're chucking the towel," you know, like, but he knows you best. But in boxer, you know, I haven't had much notice for it. I've had 7 weeks, I haven't really been in the gym, because obviously just the birth of my daughter last week, so I knew that was coming up. I thought I was going to be fighting at the end of the year. You're fighting in 7 weeks, so it'd probably be nice not to have had the full camp, maybe just a swift 7 weeks, and we'll see how that comes. But no, I like what Boxer had to say. You know, they're going to try and make Newcastle like a big focal point in the boxing, and they want me at the forefront of that, which is nice. And you know, we've got like Savannah, who's got a world title. The Shields fight looks like it's going to happen if she gets through there. I'm not saying that could be in Newcastle, but imagine that being in Newcastle and having a big card up here like that. So it's interesting stuff, and it's nice.
It is, mate. How important to you as a local lad is it for you to continue to be the figurehead of North East boxing? Because you still are.
No, yeah, well, definitely. I mean, we've got 2 losses, but one's the European level, and one was a final eliminator for a world title. I mean, these aren't mugs that are beating you. Like, Patera's won his last 7 or 8 since he's beat me.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
you preempted my next question there.
Yeah,
The losses, it's too easy to look at losses as well.
I mean, the losses that we've had are at like the highest level. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, for people to jump on and say this and that, it's mental. But no, at the forefront, and you know, we'll be there for a few more years, as long as things keep going well. Then you've got obviously Luke and Paddy, we're going to turn pro there, the Olympians there, they're going to be the next set that you would expect to be taken over from me, whilst when I'm on the back burner, do you know what I mean? But I'm nowhere near that now, you know what I mean? I'm still fresh, 27, took very, very little stick in my career. I've probably been hit more times in that last fight than what I had in my full career, do you know what I mean? So nothing that way we've been about, and we're going to get back to where we believe we belong.
Good man. I said I would chuck some names at you. Since the Ponce fight, I would dare say you've probably had a fair few offers.
No, but I've not really so much offers as in fighters, just offers as in contracts. Do you know, like, fight for this company, fight for that company, fight for this, fight for that. And do you know, like, even with us being fighting on Matchroom builds last couple of years, I've been a free agent. I haven't been signed with Matchroom. Like, I've heard obviously a few people in the box I announced that I was sort of, Eddie Hearn's dropped. Eddie Hearn's not dropped me. I've never been with Eddie Hearn for the last couple of years. Right. He just knows that I can sell the arena out, and he's come up and is a businessman. It's been a good deal, you know what I mean? So, not so much names, but just contracts and stuff where, do you know, I had to sit down with Phil and my dad and sort of like, the free agent sort of, I think people are too eager to jump on board things, you know, like where, just say a boxer come up in 4 weeks and I'll win, but the rest of the card doesn't go to plan, and they don't want to come back up anymore. Yeah. BT might bring one up, but I'm a free agent, I can jump on that. Right. Eddie Hearn might go, oh look, you can fight him or him, up in Newcastle, alright, I'll jump on that. You know, it's like quite smart the way we worked it, but people are so eager to jump on board and be signed with people, but everyone's so their own on, and that's what we've done, and that's what we're probably going to continue to do.
And you're a veteran on Sky Sports, aren't you?
13 fights, this is going to be on Sky, I can't believe it. So 27, 13 fights on Sky. all good hard fights. You know, like I was saying, from that British title fight against Robbie Barrett on Sky, they've all been, apart from 2 like half warm-up fights, have all been step-ups. You know, I've had no gimme fights. You know, like I've seen Peter Fury, his interview with Sky, saying about Hughie having no gimme fights. I'm like, been in the exact same boat. I've never had no easy fights. I've boxed the best lads they've mentioned, and I've done well in my career. You know, so there's still a lot more to come from me.
Absolutely. You say it's the rebuild. If I could give you a crystal ball, Lewis, over the next couple of years, what would you like to see happen? And have you got any names? Is anybody that Lewis Ritson wants to fight?
You know, you've known me for a few years now, Steve, with the Boxing UK page, and I'm not into the calling people out like, I don't know, you know, fight at the end of the day. Whoever you get offered, you're gonna fight them, aren't you? They're just names, you know, like so. But there's a good few domestic lads with the, you know, the McKennas, the Tennessees, the O'Haras, the Jack Cattles. You know, they're all going their own directions. I think we're all like at that level where we've all proved ourselves, but then we're like all struggling to make that final little hurdle, you know, like where we probably do need a couple of fights like that to get there. You know, I remember we beat Paul Hyland for the British title, and me and my dad, Eddie Hearn, had a meeting in the hotel after, and he said, "What do you want next?" And I said, "I need 3 10-rounders for the rounds. I need 3 against tough people," and sadly we got chucked straight into a European title shot where we hadn't had the rounds, weren't doing the weight properly, and that's what sort of knocked in the end. So we didn't want to be jumping into anything which is mental, but like, you know, we want the right fights and the right opponents.
Good man. Away from you,
yes,
a couple of big fights coming up that I have to get your prediction, Lewis,
yes,
while you're here. We'll start with Joshua Usyk.
Yeah.
How do you reckon that one's going to go?
Do you know what it is? I had asked the same on the bubble last time when I thought Joshua was gonna, but the more it's getting to it, the more I'm thinking Usyk's gonna just do it. You know, like he's just I see his interviews off and a few things that they've put out, and I think he's a really odd character, but he's likeable, isn't he? You know, like, and even though he's not British and he's Ukrainian, you want him to do well and you want him to win. Obviously, I want Joshua to win as well because he's British and he's flying the flag, isn't he, with the 3 belts. But I think Usyk might nick it, me. Like, I don't know why. That's from your prediction.
Good man. And then shortly after that, Smith Fowler. That's a cracker as well, isn't it?
Right. You know what it is? I like the Smiths and I like Fowler, so I'm gonna stay on the fence for that. I like them. He's a good kid, Fowler. Yeah, your mate, CBD oil. So, but like I say, the Smiths, they always comment on my Instagram posts and you know, and stuff like that. So I'm gonna stay. But it's to be fair, it is a big jump for Fowler, and if he pulls it off, fair play to him. He's announced himself because he's had a setback anyway with Fitzgerald and that before. So fair play to him if he pulls it off.
Good man. Last word to you, Lewis. A message for your British fans,
yes,
and particularly us lot up here.
No, you know, like, just come support the night. It's going to be a good night. You know, it's be the first one since the lockdown, that, and there'll be some big nights to come. If I can get through this, which, you know, I should on paper, but there'll be some big nights to come, and we'll bring some good nights to Newcastle.
Lewis Ritson, always a pleasure, mate.
Thank
An
you very
absolute
much.
star. Great to see you back.
Good, yeah, you too.
Take care, mate.
Ciao.